Let's call this meeting to order. Let's please begin by rising and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Pastor Paul.
Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for allowing us to come together here. And Lord, we ask your blessings on this meeting. We ask your blessings on the mayor and the council here. We ask that you just be with them, and we do ask the blessing of both them and also all those that serve this community, to help this community be all that it can be as an example of what you can do when you're invited in. So we thank you for your leadership and your guidance. And in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. We will begin with the roll call. Alderman Greg Smith.
Here.
Alderman Lori Quinn.
Here.
Alderman Mike Snyder.
Here.
Alderman Adrian Saunders.
Here.
Alderman Robin Simpson.
Here.
Alderman Jason Osborne.
Here.
We have a quorum. First thing on the agenda under tab 4 would be to review and then approve the minutes of the January 9th, 2025 board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 9th, 2025 board meeting minutes as prepared.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the January 9th, 2025 Board of Aldermen minutes. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the minutes of the board meeting of January 9th, 2025. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next we have on the agenda is the mayor's report. You will be surprised to know that I have very little report. Moving right along, city clerk's report.
You'll notice there it is in your packet there. A couple other things I need to add, and we could do this later under the pool if you like. I provided in your handouts, it wasn't actually in your packet there, but in the additional handouts is a job description for pool manager. Alex has been working hard, trying to be on top of things and get things done early this year instead of running around and doing things last minute. So we just want to see about getting approval to advertise for employment for the pool manager at this time.
I'll make a motion to advertise for employment for the pool manager for this upcoming season.
We have a motion on the floor to go ahead and run ads for the open position of pool manager for the 2025 pool season. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second on the floor to go ahead and approve advertising for this open position of Monroe City pool manager for the 2025 pool season. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
With regards to Myrna, they were here January 10th and did their annual evaluation on us. Alex did a wonderful job.
Awesome.
He did great. He last year, if you recall, we had to pay an extra debit of about $16,000, and that was due to several factors. The training was undocumented, weekly inspections undocumented, and some of the recommendations not being completed. He was successful in getting our overall score above 80%. Therefore, we will not have a debt assessed on our pension this year.
Good job, Alex.
Yes, he worked very hard. With the MonroeCity.org webpage, Tanya and Alex got in on a training today by Civic Plus, kind of learning how to manipulate updates and changes once that's launched. We don't have a launch date yet, but it's of course getting closer. With regards to the annual debt service, you all have requested amortization schedules. I requested those, and she just hasn't gotten back to me. I haven't forgotten about that, but I just wanted to follow up with that. engineering services for rate studies. I reached out to 4 engineering firms, heard back from one. They kind of told me what's required for a rate study, which was no surprise what they needed. But if okay with you all, I can go ahead and move forward and see about getting a proposal from them.
Was there a due date for responses?
I'm sorry?
What's there a due date for responses? I mean, do you think anybody else is gonna respond?
No, we have not had anything.
Okay.
And, you know, for professional services, I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't really give them a
Sure.
specific date.
Mhm.
I mean, I figured, you know, if they
Either they
were
will,
very
they don't.
interested, they would email right away and let me know, but I only heard from one, so. But I'll reach out to them and kind of see what they could propose for the cost
Okay.
to do that. Williams Keepers, I met with them yesterday and, to determine how to move forward with our audit, and, she's gonna get a proposal for me next week, and so hopefully I'll have that at the next council meeting.
Did she feel like we have what she needs to do some of it?
I mean, I told her my main concerns, and she said those are things that they do offer services for and can help with. She didn't act like it was, you know, like it would be any issue.
Okay, good.
But they do things, of course, that the auditing services don't do, so
Sure.
that's what they'll be helping with.
So what they'll be helping with is preparing our records for not.
Correct.
Okay.
Like I was mentioning to her, like with regards to our bank reconciliation, how we still have all those outstanding transactions in there from 2019 and they should not be there, and things of that nature. So I know they're very capable of coming in and working on this.
Is Jackie still doing anything, or is she?
She actually sent an email, and she's no longer able to really dedicate any of her time to help us. She has turned everything in, and she did submit her final bill for services.
So we have all the paperwork back from her?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, she had a computer and everything, we got that back too. And that's all I have.
Okay, next on the agenda is city attorney report.
Nothing earth-shattering to report. You've got the pilot ordinance in there, that should all be taken up soon. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary to report to the council.
Any movement on our engagement with Mr. Hark?
We've got court first Thursday in February,
February 11th. That's what you sent me.
should be the 6th.
You sent me February 11th.
The sixth is.
That was in your email to me,
First Thursday.
was February 11th for municipal court.
Well,
Is that something different?
That's something different.
Okay, my apologies. All right.
Two different things.
You're gonna get to go twice.
Do you expect there,
February 6th is the case with Missouri Metal Correct.
do you expect there to be any depositions required for that initial case?
No.
All right, you've got all the records that you need, you believe?
And Danette and I have talked, she's gonna be a witness there.
Okay.
Is that gonna be at Paris?
Now, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much, city attorney. Okay, next thing on the agenda is authorized guest speakers. Mr. Brandon Goodwin representing the Monroe City Area Fire Protection District.
So, I came up here a month or so ago looking for money for fireworks. And I was originally asking for $7,500. I thought that would have been enough. I got a quote the other day, up to date. So their quote for this year is going to be $8,591.75 to put them on, or to buy the fireworks. We are more than willing, we have everything to do it still, we're more than willing to do it. no charge to you all except for buying the explosives. We'll do it and everything. Seeing if y'all are willing to pay for it or not. I was told the agreement was the city pays for the fireworks. We maintain all the equipment and the personnel to do it. So I know a lot of people around really appreciate the job we do and everything. I hate to see it go, but I think this is our own choice right now.
It's not in your budget to do it
The real board will not pay for it.
It's not in our budget either.
then. What do you think about asking some,
Businesses.
That happened a few years ago.
yeah, I mean, or some organizations, I mean, I don't know if it's a
We can try that, see if
I can help.
people will donate for it also, but the city always paid for it before, so I thought I'd bring it here and see if y'all are still willing to or not.
I think we would like to be able to do so, but financially.
Yeah, I've got two issues.
Lots of
One,
other things that are.
we just finalized the budget stuff that's in it, what's in there. If we would discuss it next year before October, within the budget, we would consider it then, for sure. And then the second thing is that unfortunately, with all the other things going on in the city, our budget is not have room for basically anything. I do know in the past that they have gotten some donations. I have no idea like what percentage those in total of the deal. I think that's a good suggestion. Because I'm with you, I do think people appreciate it, and we have a very good
I
show.
don't know if you've looked at the number of people that come in.
It's a
town.
nice display.
It is unbelievable. You
I
can't
mean,
get
we
around
watch
this
it,
town
we watch it
after
every
it's
year, yeah.
I mean,
I
a
mean,
lot.
everybody says it's the best one around, so.
We bring in a lot of other outside
Mhm.
people in to watch it, we really do.
Yeah.
So I think we should try to keep it, but maybe not, maybe we can't find it, but I'll, if you're looking for
Alright, yep. I'll get with you then. See what we can do. Alright.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, new business. You will notice within your booklet, under tab 9, bill number 1, an ordinance of the city of Monroe City authorizing a payment in lieu of tax, otherwise known as a pilot. What we would endeavor to do tonight, at a minimum, is to review this proposed ordinance and look to have a first reading, and then it will be up to this board if they want to do a second reading tonight, or if it would be their pleasure to have this posted.
This one has been posted.
This one has been, so it's the other one we need to worry about. It's good enough. We can go for both then. I'll go ahead and get started. This is an ordinance of the city of Monroe City authorizing a payment in lieu of taxes. Whereas the city is authorized under RSMO section 393.297 to impose a payment in lieu of taxes on revenue collected by the various municipal utilities. Whereas the city does not receive tax revenue from the Monroe County Collector on utility department assets due to the fact that the city of Monroe City operates its own utility departments. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Aldermen of the city of Monroe City, Missouri as follows. Section 1, in lieu of taxes, the city clerk shall collect and pay into the general fund of the city of Monroe City monthly a specified percentage of the revenue collections for all utility sales and charges supplied by the city utility departments, water, electric, and gas, as payment in lieu of taxes. Section 2, the rate of payment in lieu of taxes shall be 8% of the gross revenue of each department. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage and approval. Before we move forward on bill number 1, I'd like to at least comment on this. Historically, this has been done in most recent years, the last probably 8 to 10, if not longer, at a rate of 11%. There was no ordinance in place. One of the areas of deficiency that the last state audit addressed was not having an ordinance that said we could do what we've always done. So this ordinance is to address that deficiency, also to correctly identify it as a payment in lieu of taxes as allowed by state statute. And we also reduced, in order to try to not incur any additional expenses that have to be carried by our utility rates, from 11% down to 8%, so 3% reduction. Yes, that 3% reduction does impact the amount of money that goes into the general revenue fund, but it seems to be an appropriate move. So now, having made that comment on bill number 1, I would entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is wastewater part of the water? It's not listed. Just water, electric, and gas.
This was something you all were looking into when you were creating the
I don't
ordinance.
recall. Historically, it's been, and that's a good point, Robin. Historically, it's been gas, water, sewer, and electric. All four enterprises. John?
We could change it, or we just line out water, electric, gas,
Just say,
and it's all the city's utility departments.
The board's pleasure.
I would just suggest all you cities' utility departments.
Or whatever's,
So we will line out that text within the parentheses. Okay, done.
yeah.
I think when I wrote it, I was thinking sewer is part of water.
Yeah.
This way there's no confusion, it's all of them.
Well, that would clear up any potential areas of conflict or confusion.
It is reflected in our budget for wastewater.
Okay,
Yeah.
just not specific in the ordinance, yeah. What do you need?
Any further questions? Entertain a motion for the first reading.
I'll make a motion for the first reading of bill number 1.
We have a motion on the floor to conduct the first reading of bill number 1. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve bill number 1, an ordinance of the city of Monroe City authorizing payment in lieu of taxes. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Did you want to do the second reading tonight?
Your all's call. Since this has
It's
been
already been
published,
posted.
it's been published.
Yes.
I'd suggest let's do it.
Do it.
Second reading, yeah.
We have a motion on the floor for a second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second on the floor for second reading of bill number 1, an ordinance of the city of Monroe City authorizing payment in lieu of taxes. This has to be done by voice and roll.
Alderman Quinn.
Yes.
Alderman Saunders.
Yes.
Alderman Osborne.
Yes.
Alderman Simpson.
Yes.
Alderman Schneider.
Yes.
Alderman Smith.
Yes.
The ordinance is therefore passed. Next thing on the agenda is bill number 2, something I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Otherwise known as the budget. Bill number 2, ordinance appropriating funds for expenses to operate the city government of the city of Monroe City, Missouri from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and providing all allocations of income from revenues derived from taxes and other sources. And that should have been handed out separately, known as bill number 2. this reflects what was most recently discussed last evening during our most recent, one of many, budget meetings.
With that being said, this has not been posted.
I'll make a motion for the first reading, bill number 2.
We have a motion on the floor for the first reading of bill number 2, an ordinance appropriating funds for expenses to operate the city government of the city of Monroe City, Missouri from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025, and providing all allocations of income from revenues derived from taxes and other sources. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor for the first reading of bill number 2. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. What be the pleasure of the board? Second reading or have it posted?
We probably need to have it posted.
I would rather post it and
Yeah.
be cautious.
There you have it. Let's get this posted and we will make every attempt to do a second reading at our next scheduled Board of Aldermen meeting. Moving right along. We will begin with committee reports. Notice, I apologize for this. Public Works did not make it onto the agenda, but consequently, we have requested a Public Works Committee meeting for the purpose of reviewing and making recommendations on the existing and current meter obstruction ordinance 86.04.02, which was passed on August 8th of 2024, regarding potential changes to possible modifications to customers and perhaps allowing, and this is for them to decide, allow a period of time to correct obstruction issues as needed. And also, they're being requested to review and look at implementing a inclement weather meter reading policy during the most recent time period. Last week, reading meters, we had someone who slipped and fell and was injured, and it was thought that perhaps we ought to have a policy in place that will allow us to perhaps take a different course of action depending upon the circumstances, and that will go to the Public Works Committee for them to have a meeting and review as soon as they can possibly schedule
Will
one.
it also be included about what we discussed about if the 20th lands on a holiday or a weekend? Wouldn't that fall under that?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Jason? I'm sorry.
If the 20th lands on a holiday or a weekend?
Do the following day.
Yeah.
It'd be a good discussion to have. I know that there was a pretty lively discussion here the other night when we were doing our budget about that, so it'll be interesting to see what the committee comes up with.
I actually talked to NECAC today, and they said that that would be fine to word it that way. You know, if the due date, they're actually more worried about the disconnect date than they are the due date. But it's fine that, you know, if the 20th happens to fall on a weekend or a holiday, that, you know, it's the next business day that it's due.
Good. Well, it sounds like you have plenty of information to get started once you guys schedule a
Yeah.
meeting and have your meeting.
And get those taken care of, so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What's on the schedule for next week? At 6?
We got something on the 30th, don't we?
Yeah, and
I think
admin
it's your-
meeting.
The admin committee is on the 30th.
Is it the only one? Okay. I'll work with it. I'll send them both out, that and public safety.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Alderman Saunders. Planning and zoning, there's nothing that I'm aware of. Parks and cemetery, and I plan on renaming that in April to Parks and Recreation. I'll go ahead and give a report on that.
Do we need to talk about contract for hay mowing or something?
I'm sorry, what?
The contract for hay mowing is on the agenda today. fall asleep.
You know, I didn't see that on there, but you're right. Let's go back. We need to go back to new business. The mayor made a error. Contract for hay mowing, item C under tab 9, is that correct?
There's nothing in there.
Or is
I
it,
don't believe there's any information there.
okay,
I spoke to a gentleman that has been mowing out by the airport, 12.5 acres, and he does it for hay, of course. He no longer has a contract. He's mowed it, I believe, the last couple of years, even though he hasn't had a contract. He's still been taking care of it for us. So I wanted to see if you all want to put that back out for bid, and if so, do you want to bid it out for so many years, or how would you like to do that?
There's no cost to us, he just takes the hay.
He takes the hay, and he actually did pay, I shouldn't say this, but he
Something.
did pay per acre.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of, I mean, that's standard, like, just the way it is. I mean, I think we should probably.
And if we have any other property, I don't know, that we could do hay mowing on, that we could contract for too, I don't know.
The Mosswood property was part of his original contract, but he wasn't getting good hay. So he actually let that go and just kept the airport. But yes, and that could be, Mosswood could be hay, but it's not good grass.
So what's happening with that now?
So I believe it gets brush hogged.
By somebody?
I believe the street department does it.
We brush off some of it.
Does he do big bales or little bales?
Both
He didn't say.
big.
Well, I'm thinking if he did the little bales out of mosswood, at least you could sell them to people like me for wind protection for our water lines. You know, farm bar sells out really fast.
conflict of interest.
anything
Yeah, I
further
would
on?
think we could, like, go out for bid for
Okay.
both properties.
Yeah, do you need a motion
And
for
if we don't
that?
get interest in that, and, I would suggest, 3 or 5 years, something like that.
Do we want to separate them since it's two different qualities?
I would.
I would
I'd do
separate it.
separate properties and 3 years is kind of standard for an egg.
Some of those little bales sound like a bale.
On your hay deal, George, we cut the topsoil off that one, we've been using that one field, so you can't include it in there. Or I
Right,
would-
so it'd just be the back.
It's just the back part.
Of the airport?
The
Mosswood.
Mosswood, cause we cut topsoil for George's berm and different things. It's really good dirt.
Was it, Rodney, was that previously agricultural?
Yes, at one time.
Should we rent it out to somebody?
It was rented out.
It's 33 acres, right?
It was at one time.
Yeah,
Before we started
Southwest
putting
corner, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the southwest
Yes.
corner.
Why don't we run an
Just
ad?
past
Why don't we run an ad to rent that property out for whatever purpose they
Is it
want?
tillable property?
Yes.
It was.
I think it was at one.
And we don't that's a better idea.
Yeah.
We don't
Hmm?
currently rent it out.
No, we were renting it out, but then we ran out of places to put the sludge from the wastewater plant, so we did away with that contract.
So now it's really
We were
fertilized.
land applying, well, now we're no longer land applying, so it's available for whatever.
I think there's some been
Well, and
interested
then-
in doing that farm.
You like that? I like
Well, they don't
that.
use
With
it.
the sludge.
Yeah.
Don't do
That's
that.
what we cut.
But we did it that time, so.
And there's
Because
easy,
the guy wanted to
Yeah.
build houses out
They
there.
wouldn't want it.
He wanted to develop.
so there's
and have a
easy
business.
access for tractor combine to get back in there.
You know, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It was a guy
Yeah,
that,
otherwise it's just sitting there doing nothing.
Debbie Kendrick.
Well, as I said, we're paying the brush hog it otherwise.
Yeah,
He had the
yeah.
horse, he has the horsery.
And someone can get,
Down
you
by
know,
the
some
rock.
production
Oh,
of it,
yeah?
so,
We need to revisit this.
yeah.
Yeah,
We need to revisit this.
There's a lot of places out there that would go for it. Yeah.
Any further discussion on the contract for hay mowing? Okay, let's go ahead and move forward then. I'll try to pick up where I left off.
Sorry.
No, thank you very much. I completely overlooked it. That's why you're sitting there.
Mhm.
So anyway, Parks and Cemetery, I was in, Donnie Hayes advised me today that he was going to be resigning from the Parks and Cemetery Committee. He has, let me see here, due to other commitments. And Penny Fulton has, who's on that committee, has provided an individual that's recommended for Parks and Cemetery Committee. His name is Alex Bross. And because that is a mayoral appointment, I would like to appoint Alex Bross to the Parks and Cemetery Committee. However, the board must approve my nomination.
Have you spoken to him?
Hmm?
Have you spoken to
No.
Alex?
No, she did it all for me.
Oh, she's spoken to him.
I've turned her loose to help me find people that the other board members are finding people of like mind.
I was
that
just
are-
concerned if we appoint him and no one's spoken to him.
Oh, no, he
Right.
said he wants
Okay, all
to.
right.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah, let's nominate a few more people.
Hey.
that would be a voluntold.
We'll send Chief James after him and drag him in here.
I'll make a motion to appoint Alex Bross to the Parks and Cemetery Board.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to appoint Alex Bross to the
Cemetery
Parks and Cemetery Committee. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion second on the floor to appoint Alex Bross to the Parks and Cemetery Committee. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you very, very much. So now you got another person to go along with you there, Mr. Maziarka. Another new member. All right, next thing we have on the agenda is economic development.
Nothing to say.
Okay. Next, administration committee.
So we're having a meeting for that on the 30th at 5:30, I think we said, to discuss administration issues downstairs, license office issues that we need to maybe discuss, anything going on over there.
Go ahead. Why don't you
Public
guys go
Works.
ahead and put together an agenda. Get up to that.
That's why,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying this.
What was the first two? What was the first two items?
To discuss
license
administration
office.
issues downstairs.
Okay.
And to discuss license office issues and,
Public Works Director.
huh?
Are we talking?
And then we were doing, going over the job requirements for a public works director for maybe
Correct.
sometime in the future.
Correct.
We probably need to continue with that.
Good.
And,
That concludes your report.
Seems
yeah,
reasonable
that's what,
rectifying that.
that's what, yeah, I'm talking about, yeah. Yeah, good.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nuisance Review Board of Public Safety. Okay. All right. Next thing we have are department reports. Beginning with Police Department, Chief.
I don't have anything, sir.
Thank you. Water.
Just a couple things, I'll be quick. We do have a small water leak right now, we're gonna dig it Monday. It's in a weird position, so I'm either gonna have to shut off a lot of people out, well, Mosswood, 4D, that area, as well as down Court Street to Locust. Or I might have to shut people off from Court Street to up to the old highway, or from Court Street South. It's a four-way, and something in there is leaking. And I don't know which side is leaking, but I'll have to shut off the side going that direction. Until I dig it up, I won't know.
Do you know how long to be out of water?
I do not know. It'll be done by the time, we won't leave until it's done. So we're gonna start first thing in the morning. Hopefully we'll be done by, let's say, lunch, but we'll be at it until it is completed and everybody's back in water.
Have we notified the residents?
We put it on front desk, which I'm not familiar with that, but it's kind of difficult to also, now that it's turned into I first thought that it was just gonna be Mosswood and 4D, but now it's, I found another map that told me something that the current map we have didn't tell us what was going on.
Is there some way we can ask the chief to put it, because he has a Facebook page, he's the only one that does. I mean,
I say that's,
we
how
gotta
bad
tell
is
people.
it leaking?
I don't have a gallon
Right,
amount,
yeah.
but,
And then the,
idea of notifying people.
we have to,
Yeah.
I mean, we can't just have them turn on, but nothing come out. And then will there be a boil order following that?
there will be a boil advisory, yes. And that is, all in the front desk.
Sometimes that's.
Did that go out to everybody?
It's only on front desk, right?
I say, I didn't get a notification with front desk.
It's
I'm not sure, Alex was.
But is it
taking care
tied
of
by address?
Zach has posted it somewhere for us before too.
I posted on our page as long as you all give me info.
Okay,
On a boil order, sometimes I've seen those on.
Sarah, when is that doing that?
Monday,
Monday.
yes, ma'am.
Well, it's a boil advisory,
It's a
right?
boil advisory, not a boil order, but
Oh.
the news stations are gonna call it a boil order. If it was an entire town, I would say yes, we'd contact KHQA, WGEM, the radio stations, but it is gonna be spotty. It's not gonna be the entire town. So normally in that, we try to notify within. I am also a member of the What's Happening in Monroe City. I'll be able to put it on that also. So I mean, it will be out there. And I'm gonna try to do some preliminary digging tomorrow and see if I can actually figure out which.
I said it'd be nice if we could narrow it down ahead of
Right,
time.
yeah, I just haven't been able to get the back truck out, and
I
there's
don't know.
communication lines and gas lines, so I can't use a backhoe. So, and it's been too cold for the back truck. So we will get out there tomorrow, and hopefully I'll know, and we'll, do the best we can. So, just kinda wanted to let you guys know that was coming.
So I have a question related to this, but not that particular thing. The text notifications that go out, say from cities or municipalities or like the school, when the school's out, what does it take to have that?
Actually, I think the new Civic Plus site has that ability, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that has that option.
But our current system does not.
Does not. People would have to sign up for it. But as far as I know, that is part of that system.
But we could put a note on utility bills or whatever to sign up for notifications.
Right, well,
That's
right,
what
once we
the
get that in
school
place,
does.
yes.
They tell you to sign up for your cell phone for these things. and
Right,
they'll send you
right.
a text.
Is there a huge cost associated with that?
I think it's part of the package.
I know Code Red is something that numerous other municipalities use, and you
I
just
was
sign
gonna
up for
mention
it.
Code Red, yeah.
Right, so she's familiar with that, so she can explain it a little bit
Is there
better.
cost to that, Jeanette?
Oh, sure.
It all depends,
How
Zach,
many users?
the Code Red, notification system, is that through the dispatch system?
Right.
So that's generated at City Hall. I know Canton has it, and they can generate it and send it to certain sections of town, and
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the key, to be able to narrow
I'm
it
not familiar
down
with
to.
generating it for Code Red, but I know it's an option.
So how many houses on this current, I'm just thinking, got a lot of backlash from electric. On the water outage. how many
if it's
houses?
only the Mosswood 4D area, we're looking at, I think it was 17 houses.
If it moves further into
Put something on there
Locust,
to-
I would say
I know.
that's small.
if it moves
we could
further
door-
into Locust, how far are you from Oak Street?
Absolutely.
One block? So if it moves like all the way up to Locust and Court, that's another 2 blocks.
Right, but it's only gonna be Court Street,
Okay.
and only people who feed off of Court Street. The side streets, it won't affect.
It's everything south of Business 36, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So worst case scenario, any idea how many houses might, I'm just thinking like, let's just say.
What if the whole
we
thing's
wanna go
bad?
If the whole thing's kaput, it could be almost, from Locust Street all the way out to,
But how many meters are we talking?
I can't answer that. I
Yeah,
don't really
worst
wanna.
Yeah.
case scenario, I would rather boil for 24 hours than not.
Well,
No,
and
I'm just saying.
worst
we
case
need
scenario
to
too,
know-
you may be out of water.
That's
Right.
how,
So we can notify them all so
They
that
can
they,
set a couple gallons back for drinking or whatever.
I don't like printing, but since I have to print at school, I catch
And
myself.
like I said, I'll know
reading
more
it now,
tomorrow,
I don't have to.
hopefully by lunchtime.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome if we could get it better.
Yeah.
put something on their door or something.
I don't want.
I know, it wasn't good.
So what do we decide? We're gonna have the police, the chief, the police department's gonna put this out there. You're gonna put it on,
George has it, or said to what's happening in Monroe City.
okay, and then what else?
We can put it on front desk when someone sends us the information.
Okay,
And Lauren, I
That'll be up to you.
suggested,
Yeah, I've already given it to Alex, and Alex
Okay.
already typed something up, and he's given me a copy of what he said he put on there.
okay.
Okay, but you're not sure, exactly sure on the areas yet, so that could change. Okay.
Right, yes, it could change.
So are we gonna put something on people's houses or not?
that says you may be out of,
I don't know what's involved with that.
Or is it more along the lines of tomorrow, maybe he discovers what section it might be more?
Yeah, because if it
It
depends on
sounds
how-
to me like we're uncertain exactly
Yeah,
which
we are
section's
very
gonna be
uncertain.
impacted.
Yeah, and
So
I
we should just
can't-
notify them all
Right,
and say that there's a
But how are we doing?
very
it?
high probability that your water's gonna go out Monday morning. It's not gonna come back on till potentially Monday evening.
how are you suggesting that we
No,
do that, notify everybody?
Well, if you can't, if you, maybe I misunderstood, but it sounds like there's some uncertainty as to knowing
There is.
which section of homes is going to be impacted. Is that correct?
That is correct. yes.
Okay, so all I'm suggesting is if we don't know which ones will be impacted, notify everybody that might be impacted. That way they can plan ahead.
And how are we notifying them? That's the question.
Okay, back to that, we'll put it on front desk, which is what goes out to every utility customer who's signed up for it, right?
right.
There's
And
a whole
checks
bunch
your
that
email.
aren't.
Yeah.
All right. George is gonna put it, by the way, I want you all to answer this question. The last time I put something on, you might be from Monroe City, it turned out very poorly. Matter of fact, they suggested a new mayor and a new council, and all I was trying to do was tell them that this was gonna happen. And that's fine, they can do that at the voting booth. That's
you gotta
fine.
take the good with the bad.
So we can do that, and the chief of police can put it out on their Facebook page. What are you suggesting?
What about,
Are we suggesting putting a note on everybody's door?
Yes, I am.
what about taking a map and
Runs that
highlighting
page?
the possible areas too?
No, I mean, not everybody's on
I just don't
Facebook,
think you
not
have
on
a
front
foolproof
page.
way of notifying people right now,
No.
and I feel like we've had a couple of really bad PR events in the last month.
I would agree with you.
Well,
I'm
everybody
not,
has.
I know it's false, I'm not blaming anyone,
No.
I just,
I agree with
we
you.
know this is happening, we know we didn't do it right in the
Right.
past, why did we do it right?
Then you can also include
Do we have the ability to do
boil
that?
water.
Who's the administrator on that particular Facebook page? Is that
Sid.
you?
Can we get that put out between
Hold on,
now
hold
and
on.
then?
Page, but all you gotta do is you can turn off comments.
Why don't we-
Yeah, turn off comments
I
as
think
soon
we
as you
need to
post
turn
it.
off the comments to that post.
Hmm?
Just
I don't
leave it
think that's
alone.
Yeah,
the
well-
issue, the issue is that we're not,
Reaching
none of these
everybody.
things you're mentioning notify every person.
Unless people start opening their mail, everybody gets on one platform, or everybody answers their phone, we are not gonna reach everybody.
Put it on the
Even
door,
put it
put
on
it
the
on the
door,
door.
We're
they're
not gonna make
do it.
everybody
So
happy.
we contact.
I know, but I just didn't know if it's too strict if we go, like, put a notice on it.
Well, if that were the case, I'd deliver them myself,
That's
you
what
know?
I don't.
So here's the deal, can we get a note, can we get is it possible to get I'm asking, and maybe a simple answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Can we get the notices printed? And then can we find the people, the staffing? George says he ain't got enough people to do it.
Well,
Now that
especially
means
he's
it's gonna
working
fall
on
back
water.
He's
on.
gonna be working on the water.
Well, I'm saying we would potentially need to get those notifications out tomorrow, Friday, and on their doors for Monday.
It's probably 50
Before I
copies.
leave tomorrow, everybody that I think will be impacted will have a note on their door.
Perfect, thank you.
You can handle that?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, if you need assistance on the manpower, contact the city
Okay.
clerk, and she'll probably contact Rodney and beg him to help you or something.
We'll get her.
George, can you also include on that about the boil order? So it's all in there, the boil order.
Phoebe, where
Yeah,
are we?
actually, I used to do a notice if it was just, 10 houses or something, and it has explanations about it, boil
Okay,
advisory.
thank you.
Yes. Okay, next thing is, I've been working with, Lance Dorsey with, Missouri DNR to, we have a public notice, it's due the 29th. But we also have found out that, the fourth quarter of, last year, we also did not, meet our running annual average, so we're gonna have another public notice, so I'm trying to get them combined.
What is a running annual average?
That is, we only test this for the disinfection byproducts once a quarter, and they take all the samples from your last 4 quarters, add them up, divide it by 4, and if it's over the maximum contaminant level, then you have to do a public notice. So the letters you normally get in the mail are not because we normally failed it within the last even 6 months. It's from the entire last year's 4 samples average. And June and September are always the very, very high numbers. The December and the March are normally very low, and they work, but they weren't low enough to bring our average back down. So I just want to let you know that we were expecting a public notice to go out, but I think we're going to be able to hold it off for a couple weeks and get it combined, so it'll go out as 1 and not 2. And then the last thing, and Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to get a chance to talk to you about this, but Marion County Water called me earlier today, and they have a situation where they need a vac truck to do a repair, and he asked if the city would be willing to rent the vac truck to Marion County. Not for them to use, it would come with operators. I know Hannibal does this also. And I'm just saying that they are one of our water customers. And there's a situation, a water tower, and they need it hydro excavated, and they don't have the capability to do so.
Is it a 1 day, 2 day?
It's a one day thing.
Where's the job at?
He didn't tell, he just told me it was one of his water towers. I didn't ask, I just said, I will ask and see if they're even interested
Will we bill them
whatsoever.
for services?
I'm sorry?
Will we bill them for
Yes.
services?
There would be a bill. I would suggest seeing what Hannibal's rate is and charge what Hannibal's Public Works rate is, if you decide to do it. But this is your equipment going out of the city being used on somebody else's system. So
Does our insurance cover that?
We have to check.
Hannibal has more money, and they do it. Hannibal's been over here and helped me on water leaks, so.
As long as it's not Monday.
So it won't be Monday. It will not be Monday, I promise you.
I've been snarky all day.
I was going to try to one up you, but I don't know if I can. Do you think perhaps you could charge them enough to pay for the expected repairs on the
Water treatment
vac truck for 2025?
I
You make
don't believe
expect it
so,
that
sir.
2 or 3 days, maybe?
Can we just give them this and tell them to
Do we need to vote on that or anything, or do we need to just kind of,
pay?
what
Just
general
gotta
say?
make their
I
check
just-
out to this
I
person.
need to know if we would, if the city would rent that or not. Rent that out. Like I said, it would be 2 of my crew that would go. I would be the one driving because I'm the only one with CDL.
If we were in a situation where we hope that.
I mean, it would be nice to have, and there are.
If we need their help, we'd like them to come help us, so, I think it's great to do that, to help them out.
The question is, do we need to make any kind of, ordinance or not ordinance, but declaration or anything?
No.
As far- okay.
No, I just think we
So
need to,
council-
if you want to make a motion to allow him to do that, that's fine.
I'll make a motion that we allow George to pursue agreement with, Marion County Water District to, use the back truck.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to allow People Services to utilize our equipment to assist Marion County. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to allow People Services to use our equipment to assist Marion County. All in favor say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I have a question, George,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'm a water geek, I'm sorry. Your unaccounted water for December, 2.5 million gallon, is that right?
Yes,
Where'd it go?
I cannot answer that.
That's a lot of water.
I heard North Main.
It is a lot of water.
It's going through your meter.
No, but yours was metered, so,
So here's what.
and then that was accounted for.
Come on.
I think that, if you notice on a monthly basis, sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, because the water sales that I show, or the water, that we pump to town is from the first of the month to the last of the month, but we read meters in the middle of the month. So, there's a lot of discrepancy between the
And
numbers.
it doesn't show any water for Marion.
That's correct.
Is that why?
Is that normal? Is that?
That is normal in the winter, yes. They do not purchase water from, and actually, that spreadsheet was put together when People Service took over the contract, but since then, Marion County Cannon Water, they now have a beacon water meter in, so we no longer have to put that information. That is in the normal billing of the water. So them boards will always be empty from now on.
So then in theory,
That's a lot of water.
January should have a 2 million gallon
It should be the other way.
direction, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, George. Appreciate your help. Next would be electric. No one for electric. Gas, no one for gas. Rodney, you have the floor.
Okay. A few things here. I had a gentleman approach me the other day about cutting firewood at Rockgate Lake. The Campbells come in and logged all them. The tops are there. He was just asking permission. There's been a gobble of people do it. Don't know about it outside, out of mind, but he was just doing the right thing.
Okay.
So I thought, well, somebody go in there and get hurt or something. I know we've allowed it in the past, or maybe they just took it upon themselves. But anyway, thought I'd bring that up to make sure all bases are covered.
The only thing I can immediately think of would be, at a minimum, I would think we'd want them to sign hold harmless in case they cut their foot off out there.
And this gentleman mentioned that, he'd be glad to sign it
I-
out.
My recommendation would be to,
What are like some of the other, because I know there
What
are
is the
some cases
do?
where like some state properties allow some firewood cutting.
Yeah,
they do,
conservation
they
does.
do.
Does it for like
These are
20
trees,
bucks a year.
these are trees that are already down.
They're already down. Campbell's come in, logged it, as you remember, and all the tops was laying there.
It would kind of be a cleanup, honestly, for the
Right.
place to get rid of those tops like that.
Yeah, and that's. real good
Benefit
firewood.
us.
It benefits us, it does.
I like it.
Don't get it wasted, but.
I like
He was
it.
just covering it, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's probably one of the first persons to come in and ask for permission, so I
Yeah,
say,
that's
yeah.
the first one. Usually when you go down there and check out Jay or doing some work, here comes a load of firewood out. Yeah, put the blinder on. I don't wanna know.
John.
Hey, Chief,
Somebody-
I'm guessing we don't go out there all the time, do we? Nah, I don't want you to. It's just a question.
The attorney's having a heart attack over there.
The previous board.
The city attorney's having a heart attack?
They said it was okay for people to go ahead and go out there.
That's
and
what
cut
I
the
thought.
tops.
Which
Yes.
Jason brought that
That's
up.
what we
so
talked
we'd
about
already approved
before.
that before.
We said it was fine.
But now having them sign a waiver is a good.
Cover you.
Yeah. We'll do the waiver, and unless the board
No, I'm
says
great.
no, just do it.
Yeah,
I
he
think we
said
got a
he'd be glad to
consensus.
sign whatever he understands, he just.
We got a
wants to do the right
consensus.
thing.
Go for
Usually
it.
they don't ask, they just go.
Well, is it Eric?
Yeah, it is.
Pat him on the back and say thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, do the hold harmless, have him fill that out, turn it in, he can go out there and clean that place up for us. You'll have to come in tomorrow and get one from Alex.
Okay.
He has a dozen
I got
of
his
them.
number, I told him I called him
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Oh, tell him, yeah, he'll have to come in the morning, have him get with Alex. When he comes up to the front desk, fill out the document and turn it back into Alex. We'll file it and be done with it.
While we're talking about that, we also, a lot of times when we're cutting trees in town, the logs and stuff, a lot of times in the past, we pulled them up around the lot, people will come in and cut them up for firewood.
Is that on our easement?
It's on us,
Oh.
our lot. I know
Oh,
they
on
have,
our lot over at the city barn?
Yes.
Oh,
we'll string them out and they'll cut them up.
Once again, it's beneficial for us to
It
get
is.
rid of that.
I still think they ought to sign a hold harmless, because I can see us getting sued.
Cause a lot of them will ask, if I cut that up, we got it passed, but, say, well, go up and sign and cut it yourself.
Oh, I think
Instead
it's
of hauling
great.
it off to the brush pile,
Yeah.
they get some use out of it.
Oh, no, I think it's great that they do that. We just gotta protect ourselves on the liability side, that's all.
So, yeah,
Okay,
that's no problem, just send them to City Hall and
Yep.
sign, and once
Yep.
they get that.
absolutely.
Once in a while, a lot of times we'll take
Could
them
we
out
put a
to
sign
the
out
workshop
there
for logs
that says we are not
and let
responsible
them
for
burn it in their
accidents?
furnace. We just drop them off.
Get
He's gonna tell you that, don't worry.
Right, because they can
Great
burn
place
them.
to
So
get
the
it.
thing that's seeing on the
Yep,
same
so
card
now-
well.
says that the shop, we're not responsible for shopping carts.
So,
Yeah, you can put up a little, like, you talk about a little sign, like the notice they have shut.
It
Yeah,
don't
he
work.
said
They
if
don't
you're
work.
shopping,
He said it don't work.
shopping cart,
They'll
I
still
said, you put up a sign that says we are not responsible for accidents, but they said that the attorney says that that doesn't work.
Better have a waiver.
not a problem.
Right away.
Just soon cover everything. The next thing I had was, there at the VFW Hall, or the old VFW Hall. They're at Dover and South Locust. As you know, the line got hit again, snapped the top of the pole off the truck. So I was wondering about putting a no through truck traffic sign there. And I've got the sign and post and everything. It would be, southbound and South Locust. See, they're coming out of the elevator in Ricketts, and they, for some reason, instead of turning there, they'll go on down. And as you remember, a few years ago, they hit it and knocked 2 or 3 poles down, and the guy took off.
Is it going down toward the Holy Rosary?
Yes.
Okay.
They're going down instead of turning there, and first thing the driver said, "Oh, you don't have no sign." Yeah, this junction's a little bigger than that next one. Of course, he wasn't from around here.
Oh.
All the elevators, people, they know to turn there, But this guy, I didn't even recognize him. But, anyway, that happened before, and then Chris.
Yeah, because that area does get a lot of truck traffic with the elevator.
It does.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Ricketts and,
I mean, maybe a sign,
No truck
I don't know
traffic.
if might be good to have a sign to tell them.
Which way to
Yeah,
go.
This
like truck
truck's,
route or whatever.
you know,
was
truck
there.
route or something there maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Second question of that is, did it do any damage to his vehicle?
Don't think so.
He did liability damage, does his insurance cost, can they replace the pole at their cost?
Have we billed them for
Yeah,
it?
the elevator has done that.
PD should have been.
think there's a
probably
problem
damaged deal, but I don't know that.
Pardon me for interrupting. I think the problem exists
Did you-
that Brightspeed allowed their
That's a problem.
real thick line to fall below the minimum height. And it's not our fault, if you want to look for responsibility.
So they're-
Most trucks would assume, that they're above that 14-foot level, and this isn't, and it still isn't. That's why there's still a barricade down there,
No,
or
I picked them up.
Pick the
Hey,
barricade.
Chris, he was gonna measure.
what I
Their
would,
line's plenty high, but it's at Brightspeed and it's still,
That's
So
what we're saying, the
when we replace
Brightspeed
this
line.
line, can Brightspeed come in and fix it, the height of theirs?
I've had them do
Maybe
it
that's
over
the fix we need to do is get it to the right height.
they were here.
and that's it.
That's the only
Has
thing I
it,
can offer.
has it
They were
since
here.
been raised?
We sent them pictures, the whole works.
That, in my opinion, no. And
They
Chris.
came,
actually-
they came in and reattached the line. It was on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He ripped it off the pole
2 foot from
and broke our
electric line,
pole.
I think's what they told me.
Yeah, there's a set distance.
They can go up.
Yeah.
That would eliminate-
They just have to say enough.
eliminate the sign and everything.
Relative to the signs, okay, any sign that is used for traffic control vis-a-vis ordinance has to go through our traffic control officer, which is the chief of police by ordinance. So as long as Chief James doesn't have a problem with it,
Yeah, okay. But like he said, a sign up and over pointing them, to go on down Dover Street. What I got, I pulled one from another place a few years ago, it's still in pretty good shape, it's on the post and all, no through truck traffic.
But I know where that come from.
Yeah, I got an idea too, I can't remember that far back. Anyway, you could put an arrow on it.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it, unless the chief's got an issue with it.
I'll look into the traffic safety handbook, make sure that everything lines up, as long as it does, I'll be with it.
Thank you.
So when are they supposed to come through and do the fiber optics?
We don't have a start date yet.
The only thing that's holding, I can't tell you that they have not started because they've been doing something in our easements. Got a backyard to prove it. And the only thing that they're waiting for is the conclusion of the poll agreement, which it's in their hands. And I've emailed them several times. They keep asking. I say, as soon as you send us the poll agreement, you can get started, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, 'cause Spectrum did it.
Hmm?
Spectrum did it, right?
No, that's Spectrum and Brightspeed, the same thing. The same company.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They own the telephone lines and they own the cable.
Really?
Brightspeed bought CenturyTel.
No, I'm saying
Charter
Spectrum
Oh.
and Brightspeed are two different.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, yeah,
Century-
CenturyLink and Brightspeed are the same
Brightspeed's going to be
thing.
competing with Spectrum for
Yeah.
cable service or fiber optics. Yes.
I'm still trying to get them to raise another line. CenturyTel actually did good
We did.
raising a line,
Some people have.
but I'm still trying to get Spectrum to do it 6 weeks later.
I'm not surprised.
Okay, Rodney, do you have something else?
Yes, I had one more thing. Burma, they come in.
There's that word again.
Yeah, there it is. Our barricades we use are wooden, as you know. He told me not to build anymore and don't use them, that's all I got. So anyway, that's where the money comes in. So I think Danetta put a deal in your package.
I got some good news on that.
Oh, do you?
There's an LTAP program that has a $7,500 sign package that they're planning to give away to 5 municipalities. And the deadline is the 30th and no one has signed up. And it's literally a 20-minute thing. We could apply for it and 90% chance we'd get it. It's the exact type of signs. LTAP, I forget what it stands for. It's like traffic safety type
I
thing.
think it's Local Transportation Assistance Program or something.
Yeah, but it's a set package, but it's these types of signs that you've got in here.
Oh, yeah.
So that could save us some
Is
Yes,
it a
money.
100% grant or is there a match on it? or-
No, it's 100%. They've already got the money. There's no audit needed, nothing.
Is it through MoDOT,
It's through LTAP.
LTAP? I thought that was the name of the grant program. LTAP.
No, LTAP is the name of the agency or whatever. But, yeah, all they need to know is like how many of this sign and whatnot do you have and how many employees. I mean, it's super simple. If you get me the numbers, I'll submit it.
What did you need?
Just like how many types of certain signs and how many
It's in here.
employees.
It's in here.
I got it.
Well, I mean, that you have currently is what they were asking.
Nothing that's standard.
Right, so it's just the
Them
technicality.
wood ones,
Yeah,
No.
that aren't,
they're
yeah,
not reflective or
Right.
trash worthy or
yeah.
in their signs. Yeah. Well, then that'd give me this risk management grant awards program. The award winner gets $1,000, so that was more or less paid for them 10 barricades right there.
I'd say go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's free money, free signs, I mean,
I know the signs are expensive, but,
Do we have a time frame in which we're required to?
he didn't tell me that, unless
I think they're supposed to be able to break away or something.
they are.
Faster.
They're not crash worthy, them wouldn't.
Right.
So I didn't hear no time frame, and I met with him in a snowstorm for just a little bit, so.
What's the normal time frame for addressing those kind of things? Like when we have recommendations like that, what kind of time frame do we normally have for responses?
Oh, we still have, another year.
Oh.
I mean, and like this grant program, I believe it's due in September, so, I mean, we still have some time.
Oh, so we have some time, so it doesn't have to be
So
done.
possibly we could
Okay.
try for the LTAP, see what happens there.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that one will be a fairly quick turnaround.
Okay.
So,
On here too, I had like 2 road work, 1 lane, 2 flaggers, George's water break. MoDOT has a cat when you're out there and no signs. And what we had, we just pieced together that day.
well, if somebody were to get hit, I can,
Oh, I know for a fact, I worked for them a long time. So, these here, retroflected, standard and everything. And that's the only thing, on them would be nice is Main Street or Business 36 or something. Anytime you're at MoDOT, they can throw you right off their road till you get off. I'm sure you've done that before too, so. And I was just going by the bare minimum, like the 10 type 1 barricades. Chris had the accident, that took 8 right there, and I know they're expensive, so I cut them down to 10. And, you use several of them, we got probably roughly around 30 down there right now.
big channelizers.
No, just a wooden barricade.
Oh, okay.
I would suggest if we're gonna apply for the LTAP grant, is there a maximum on that?
Well, it's just a set amount, it's a set package of signs. So we don't get to pick what we get, it's,
Oh.
you either get it or you don't.
Oh, but if we
So,
get
but
those
it's all
signs,
these types of signs.
What, is it barricades that we would be getting, or we don't know?
I think barricades are in it, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, it's the flagman and the one lane, yeah, road work, I know those were
I
on it,
think all them's in it.
yeah.
Oh.
Channelizers, how many channelizers do you have?
I put 10 down there, I got.
I mean, how many do you have?
Probably 6 or 7,
Oh, wow, okay,
8 maybe, a few that
yeah. No,
contractors probably left behind.
right, yeah.
Or something.
Well, you could get with
There's a few down there
Rodney.
that, cones are in good shape, I got several cones.
That's good.
The channelizers, I'm calling the tall ones, tall and skinny, and the cones, I'm calling something different.
Oh, okay, okay.
The-
I thought the cones were all called channelizers.
Well, we call them cones, and the channelizers, the tall skinny ones that stand about that tall.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, and a lot of, anymore, they go to that instead of the cones. Doing the lane
Right.
package, you're not doing that other thing.
Right.
But the cones and channelizers are different. I got a lot of cones, and I got a few channelizers.
Okay.
Mike, you wanna work with Ronnie and
Yeah.
see?
I maybe I can stop by tomorrow and.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Give me a holler.
definitely.
So that's basically, like I said, I had 10
Um,
barricades.
What about the fire? The
That is
did we already
fire.
talk about that?
Oh.
The compensation for the fire?
The fire,
Did you already talk about that?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
Do you want, talk about,
This here from,
David
Oh.
Moss,
yeah,
David Moss.
oh, okay, yeah, Steve, put in a claim, I guess.
Did he actually put in a claim yet?
he did come in, it's there with your packet.
It's just a little handwritten.
So do we need to do anything on that?
3.3 acres at 46 bushel per acre, and it was 152 bushel at 10.50 an acre, I believe is what that says.
No, 10.50 a bushel.
10.50 a bushel.
What the hell is it, gold?
At 10.50 bushel, okay, 152 bushel at 10.50 bushel for 15.96.
What was it?
Beans.
Hmm.
What happened?
Our what, our.
Brush pile.
Brush pile get out of
Well, we
hand?
burnt, and I guess the wind must have caught up, and we thought it was all right, I guess. Got over in the grass.
If it makes you feel any better, I flew over it and it really did happen.
Yeah, it is. There's a chip pile by it, where they grind, trees up. He had not too far away, it caught on fire, and it took a week for it to burn. And anyway.
All right.
it's all on fire.
Do we have to approve that?
Mhm.
Oh, gosh. Well, I would entertain a motion from someone to approve compensating Mr. Moss for his,
When was the fire?
oh, poo. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
August, somewhere around there. No, he didn't,
When did you take
maybe
your flight?
September.
Can't tell you.
Last year.
I remember when you did.
Yes, it was last year.
Last fall, last fall,
September?
probably, August, September, I can't remember. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't know how big the size, but I mean, 3 acres doesn't take very long to burn, and those numbers are at least in the right ballpark of what, stuff would be. Do we need any other?
Which was a good year last year, so that's probably right.
Do we turn this into our insurance or just pay it and be done with it?
I feel that we just pay this outright
Okay.
since it's not,
Such a
I was
small
gonna say, would you wanna
amount.
table it to next meeting and maybe the mayor and I can talk to him or,
It gets more details.
That'd
Well,
be
it
great.
happened. I know it happened.
well.
Yeah, it definitely happened.
What are you thinking? Share with me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, you get combining costs, trucking costs, I mean, I don't know. City
Something
wants-
like that, out brush pile too, it's what it is, you know, it's town brush. Going in there.
What's your pleasure, board?
Don't know what you
I
get.
say table it till
Well,
you,
It sounds like he volunteers this property, this guy does.
Yeah, Harlan,
Harlan does,
I don't think he
but
charges.
the
Yeah.
field is somebody else's.
Right.
Harlan's ground, David Moss.
farms.
Yes. Yeah,
So want to table it?
Yeah, you and John can,
that's all I got.
I get some.
I can speak on
This would be interesting to see what kind of plan he's got. It'll be worth it. All right.
Now, one other thing, the 10 barricades is the minimum. I got about 30 down there, so.
Okay.
Monroe City, that would be out. You'd get it.
So do we,
Oh, you're taking away our fair?
30, there's about 30 down there. And he said, you know, once it goes through, you can't use them or get rid of them.
We'll find you.
And I only have, if you get me that.
Can the other organizations use them for, well,
The other organization, I mean, like other places that do things in town.
are they just gonna become firewood?
Oh.
Firewood.
Well, I think the issue is that they're not
They can't be.
certified.
At all?
They're salt horses, basically, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're basically all,
It's all
they're
horses.
homemade, I mean, we make them
Yeah.
ourselves.
It's one of those deals, like, they're clear enough for the purpose, but they're not reflective, and so you have the whole deal of like the insurance, like, if there's an accident, they say, well, you didn't have proper barricades up, and you're liable because of that.
The grass.
Block an area or grass.
Okay, let's move there.
okay, let's move on. Airport,
For a fee. We'll sell them to you.
I can't stand, this makes me angry.
We'll offset the cost.
okay, back to order, folks. Airport, nothing Mosswood.
Jill is out and wife had surgery today.
Right, I seen
He
that.
told
I
me
seen
to
that.
pass on, he said something about President Trump was flying in next week. I don't know.
If that's true, we're gonna sell tickets. We could maybe balance our budget.
I'm lying.
That's okay, but it sure sounded good. If I didn't say it, Mosswood. The pool.
We're still looking for vending machines on the pool. Okay. We talked about doing vending machines rather than, Phoebe, did you have some contacts for that?
I was never told to do it.
Oh, okay.
Hey Phoebe, how about getting hold of those contacts, see if you can find us some vending machines for the
I reached out to
pool?
them last year, see, I can reach back out to them.
Awesome, thank you Phoebe.
That's after you help George with the hangers.
I'll get right on that one.
Okay, next will be, item,
Can I-
please.
I'm sorry. How soon do we need this, I guess we need a pool manager before we get lifeguards, nothing, skip it. I was gonna.
I think we'll go ahead and advertise immediately for the
Pool
for the
manager,
We'll-
yeah.
We'll get there, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Very good, very good, thank you. Alderman Simpson. Okay, presentation of bills and approval of payments under tab 12.
What is the apprentice program fees for MPUA?
That is for the second year for Justin Price for electric department, and it'll be Evan Burkhart's first year.
So-
It's a 4-year program.
We pay for that.
We pay for it, they do have a contract with us regarding if they leave employment during that period, there's stipulations in there on how they pay that back to us.
Does Justin have a contract?
That's true, that you bring that up. He does not have one, no.
How do we go about correcting that oversight?
The initial contract, the wording in the initial contract, I think there was concerns with it, and so I don't believe he ever signed it when he started employment here.
No, because there
We can
was
talk
their
with John.
too.
The initial contract referred to Justin as a temporary employee with the city of Monroe City. He would, and during that contract period, he would not receive city benefits of any type. And Justin didn't sign because he's working here full time, plus he's doing his apprenticeship. So I don't know why he was considered a temporary employee.
So do we need to just rewrite it and change that wording?
She did, she rewrote it for
I rewrote it for Evan.
so we just need to go back
Yeah,
and
Justin,
can we just go back and present another contract to him with the new wording? I know we can't retroactive it, can we? Because in actuality, whoever was in charge back then, whoever, I'm trying to be gentle here, should not have allowed that to even proceed one day without getting corrected. Because the city, and it's got nothing to do with the individual. I want to separate the issue. We're talking about the city of Monroe City is paying for someone's training education while they work. And so during that period, while they're working as a full-time employee, of course, they're able to have the same benefits as any other full-time employee does. So I understand his reluctance to sign it. What I don't agree with is previous administrations allowing it to continue unchecked and unaddressed. So I feel like we have to address it.
Yeah.
Or he can leave tomorrow, and there's not a thing we can do.
Yeah, we don't have any recourse.
Is that fair to ask that? So what do you think, Mr. City Attorney?
So we rewrite it and get him to sign it.
From what date? Back to his initial employment? He's in what? He's in year 2 or year 3? Year 2?
He just completed year 2.
Yeah.
He's in the 3rd year.
And it's a 4-year program, you said?
It's 6 one, half dozen the other. You can say it goes back and is retroactive or from
Do
this
it.
day forward.
Let's do that. We'll
Do
go back to
retro
the
if we
original
can.
date.
Go back to when?
The date of hire?
Just send me your draft and
Okay.
we'll work on it.
Sounds like a plan to me. Okay, back to our bills payable. What else we got going on here?
I didn't see, that was my only question.
I would entertain a motion for approval of bills payable.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills as submitted.
We have a motion on the floor to approve bills payable. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve bills payable. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business that the members of the board are aware of?
Not me.
There being no unfinished business, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second on the floor to adjourn. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate your attendance.
It's not even